Good morning, folks. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's strong, the stories are real, and the wrenches never stop turning. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you from the Car Connection Workshop, where the smell of fresh oil, a little elbow grease, is all part of a balanced breakfast. Around here, we don't just talk cars, we live them. Whether it's a 25-year-old Jeep Wrangler getting a second chance at life, or a Nissan Rogue getting its brakes back in order, or a mystery leak that's got everyone scratching their heads. This is where we roll up our sleeves, get it done with a little wit, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of fun. The Car Connection isn't just about nuts, bolts, and diagnostics. It's about connection. Connection to our vehicles, to the people who drive them, to the community that keeps Niagara rolling, because when you fix a car, you're not just turning a wrench. You're restoring someone's confidence, freedom, and maybe even their sanity. We're here every week, Monday through Saturday, with our Motormouth morning drive. So come and join us, helping to keep your ride safe, reliable, and ready for whatever road lies ahead. So whether you're a weekend wrencher or a daily commuter, or someone who just wants to understand what that strange rattle really means, welcome aboard. Stick around for some shop talk, expert advice, a few good laughs, and maybe a story or two if I have a flashback. It does tend to happen here in the Car Connection Workshop. Lots of things going on. We have a very busy week going. Every week is a busy week around the Car Connection Workshop. Yesterday, Monday's our video shooting day, and then we get them edited, get them into our library if we don't need them right away, and load up more videos on our YouTube channel. So we have two coming out today, one on Friday. The one coming up this Friday will be, yes, we went on, Skippy and I, my videographer, went on a journey yesterday. We took you out to the south shores of one of the Great Lakes, the shallowest Great Lake, I might add, Lake Erie. Completely frozen over, and the sights are just fantastic. Outstanding what water, pressure, and ice can do on a Great Lake. And it was just amazing to see. And we were out there playing, showing you the sights and the sounds and the ice caves and castles and the giant moguls, and even a couple of ice fisher persons way out there on the lake. From where we were standing, they looked like a piece of rice. Yeah, a dark piece of rice. They were quite a ways out there. The wind was very, very sharp. But what a beautiful, stunning day for us to shoot that video for you and share with you where we are, where we're located, and why getting your vehicle prepared and being prepared in your homestead for winter is a very, very big deal. So stop by to watch that video on Friday, and I hope you enjoy it. We just had some fun with you out there playing in our backyard called the South Shores of Lake Erie. Well, we have a ton of things to get through today to get back on track. Today begins a brand new season for our podcast. We are in season 2, episode 101. So I got a couple things I want to close off today, and then begin with a couple of items to spring forward. Yeah, we're springing forward, so hang in there with that. We need to sample our coffee this morning, have a swiggy together. We need our morning weather report, find out how things are going to happen out today, what's happening around us. But first and foremost, I want to say thank you to those program partners that have stuck with us 31 years on radio and now completely switched over to digital. These are people that are passionate about the products and goods and services that they deliver. And if you are one of those people, we have an opening for one spot to fill. So you need to connect with me very, very quickly in order to capture that spot. And it's to tell you how, you're probably saying, how much is it? More than $1, less than $1 million. That's how I did estimates in the automotive shop when people would call. How much to change a water pump on my thingy, whatsoever? I don't know what engine size, what year. It's green. Oh, it'll be more than $1, but less than $1 million. You go, what? Yeah, that's about all I can do unless the car's right here where I can see it and estimate your vehicle for you properly, not over the phone. I said, giving you an estimate on your car, what you see is like me trying to give you a haircut through the phone. Or better yet, describe what a banana tastes like. And you've never had one before. So lots of things you learn when you own an automotive repair shop because you deal with stuff like that all day long. So thank you to my brothers from other mothers, my certified financial planning professional duo, Tony Miele and Larry Tetro, combined have 50 years experience as fiduciaries with IG Wealth Management. They manage portfolios, debt management, estate planning, not escape planning, estate planning, powers of attorney, mortgages, life insurance, critical illness insurance, and a whole lot more. So whatever you have going on financially, if you feel like you're drowning in debt, get an hour and a coffee discovery meeting booked. Leave your wallets at home. Did you hear me? Leave your wallets at home. There's no sales. They're going to listen to find out where you are, what your concerns are, and these guys are two of the best decorated CFPs in all of Canada, but you will never even know it. They're my brothers from other mothers. They're very, very humble. And I've been working with Tony and Larry for well over 20 years. So when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking from my heart and experience because they handle all those areas for me. I have life insurance, critical illness insurance, wills, powers of attorney. That's all stuff that once it's taken care of, you feel so much better. And then if you're drowning in debt, you've had an opportunity to sit and figure out a game plan to turn that around for you. So that's why I'm speaking from my heart to you. There's a lot of people. I hear the conversations out there in my travels. There's a lot of people hurting. A majority of the population of Canada is less than $200 from being bankrupt. That's a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure. So get your questions answered before it's too late. And if somebody's telling you it's too late, or that little voice that says it's too late, it's over, forget about it. I hear that with cars too. Well, it's getting old. It's 5 years old. Why start now? It's over. You know what I hear there? Eeyore. Yeah, from Winnie the Pooh, I hear Eeyore. It's not over till it's over, until she's singing. And I'll tell you what, when you sit down and you get that discovery meeting, you're going to feel like the world is off your shoulders. If you have investments at the bank, you have got to make that decision that doesn't work. They make money off your money. That's right. They're making money off of you hand over fist. Just look at all the bank's profit margins from 2025. That'll wake you up to understanding banks aren't there to help us anymore. They have their place in the food chain, but that's not it. They're not there to help you get rich. No. You'll get pittance. They make the big money. So I can say that. The guys can't say that, but I can. And it's absolutely true. Your money's parked there making you nothing. So get that discovery meeting done and find out how you can turn that around. A lot of my friends, it took a while to convince them, but now they love me. And they love Tony and Larry because their investments have never created that much in return. And it won't. Thank you to Earl Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing for being our Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. So if you or someone is in the market for a pre-owned automobile, even if it takes them 90 minutes to get there, they need to get there. because they can buy with confidence, be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. They sell no junk. They bring in no junk. Just low mileage, top quality vehicles at fair prices. They have in-house leasing and financing available. And if they don't have the vehicle you're looking for, they've been in the business almost 25 years now. They have the resources, the connections to find that specific vehicle for you and do all the legwork. And they won't just pick something for the sake of picking it. If it's junk, it's junk. They leave it there. That's Earl and Louise Grant. They are truly dedicated to customer service and making sure that you get your money's worth. Low mileage quality vehicles at fair prices. Thank you to Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, for bringing this morning's Car Connection morning weather to you. For the Grimo family, Building Canada since 1931. Building supplies, hardscape, landscape materials to help you to build, design, and enjoy your backyard space. So connect with them today and let them know that we sent you. They can line you up with contractors that you can trust to estimate your project accurately, start the project, and finish the project. And I'd say on time, but, when you're working outside, it's like Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And that's what they have to deal with. So you got to keep that in mind as well, that if the weather is cooperative, things happen on time. But if it doesn't, things get put behind. So that's Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. Let them help you put together that beautiful backyard space for you to enjoy in summer 2026 and on. Thank you to Crystal Ridge Dream Center. In times when community support is crucial, Crystal Ridge Dream Center shines as a beacon of compassion and transformation. They have after-school programs for the kids. They help them with their homework. They have access to free music lessons so they can pick up an instrument and learn it. They get lots of love, hope, and they're changing lives of men, women, children, young adults, seniors, and single moms one at a time at Crystal Ridge Dream Center. Check them out and see how you could possibly get involved, either being a monthly giver or a one-time giver, or sending them some gift cards. They feed out the door, and they'll be feeding today. They're almost serving 300 meals out the door on Tuesdays and Fridays. It's tripled in the last year or two. So if you can help them with that, anything that you can do that's laid on your heart would be an absolute blessing to them, to help them to be able to do what they do. They're a faith-based, non-profit organization that are helping people in our very own backyard here in the Niagara region. Total Freedom Addiction Centers. We'll tell you more about them as we move along this morning. So let's get rolling, and let's start with our morning weather report to find out so that you know what's going on ahead of time. Let's see. We've got some snappy weather coming up. I see some 60-degree weather into next week, so we're going to talk about that as well. We're starting to see almost 50 degrees by the end of this week. Heading into the weekend, we could see 60 degrees. How about them apples? Yeah. But then, it could be the calm before the storm. It is March. Remember the lion and the lamb thing. All right, let's see what we got in detail today. Well, here we go. Chance of precipitation today is 75%. Possibly rain up to 0.05 of an inch. 23 degrees right now, partly cloudy. Wind is making it feel colder, about 20 degrees. Clear conditions from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. with drizzle expected around 4 p.m. today. Today's temperature range will be from 21 degrees to 39 degrees. Feels like 19 to 38. So I've been outside at about 4:30 this morning. It is quite cool and crispy along the south shores of Lake Erie, and there's a full moon. You can see everything outside this morning. I mean, there's no hiding. It's not a good morning for hide and seek, that's for sure. The moon is super bright. outside. Well, let's have a swiggy together. Whatever your morning beverage is, if you're slipping through the drive-through, don't forget to double check your order and lock it down in your cup holder. We don't want to hear of any spillachis happening. Yeah, that's slow-mo as you're turning back out onto the road and you see that, you're watching traffic and you're looking to get into traffic and you see the cup starting to tilt and it's like, no. Just speaking from experience, it does happen. So lock that thing down, make sure it is, and let's have a swiggy together. We count it down. That's how we do it here in Car Connection Workshop. 3, 2, 1. Have a beverage together and get our morning kicked off just right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that is so good today, let me tell you. Skippy and I, when we were shooting the video out in the South Shores of Lake Erie yesterday. I'll tell you, as far as the eye can see, ice. All you see is white. As far as you can see, it was so clear yesterday. We were able to shoot the Buffalo skyline, so you could see that in the background. It was amazing, but it was so cold. I had to keep kind of twizzling my fingers in my gloves because my fingertips were going numb right through my gloves, and I wore a thick pair of gloves, but the cold got in there, and Skippy and I had to shut down the video and go and warm up in the car for a little while in the truck, get in the truck and fire it up, warm up, and then go out and do another shoot. But it was worth it. What a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. It helped to make and put together a really cool video for you as we're wandering around. It was almost like being on the surface of the moon. It was really, really unique. It was worthwhile going out there and sharing our backyard with you. So check that out. That's going to drop into our YouTube channel Friday, March the 10th. Yes, that's correct. Friday, March the 10th. So we got the whole thing edited yesterday. It took us a whole day for shooting and editing all the pieces together. And Skippy's going to put some really cool reels together on our Facebook and Instagram pages. So you might want to check that out as well. The best place for you to connect with us and the biggest drawer in our toolbox is our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. On the homepage, you'll see the logos for all our program partners so that you can just click and connect through their profile page. And thank you ahead of time for giving them your business. We appreciate that because they bring you this channel and our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensville, on the web.ca. We have a business profile there. Skippy is from Stevensville, and her passion is to connect businesses and people together. So that was the purpose of her creating that Stevensville on the website, was to bring the community and the business owners together as a communal service. So it's really cool. You got to check that out. They have over 7,000 people watching that channel. And just click on the businesses tab. You'll find us there. We have our iHeart link on the homepage. All of this is in the top right-hand corner, including our Car Connection Motormouth merch store. You can purchase merch online and pay for it. Order your size, color, everything. Get your Car Connection limited edition morning beverage mug. We call it a coffee mug, but you can call it whatever you want. Proceeds from the purchase of merchandise, you join our crew in helping those who are struggling with addictions get to a Total Freedom Addictions campus. They have over 20 years of service there. They know exactly what to do and how to do it to help someone get past, over, through, under, around their addiction and get that new life that they're looking for. So be a part of our Car Connection crew. Help us to get those struggling with addiction to get to a Total Freedom Addiction Campus, Canada and USA. And you'll know that you're working alongside us to help and serve others. Well, what are we talking about this morning? I wanted to finish off one thing that I forgot yesterday. I didn't have a sticky note on it, but we actually ran out of time. So In closing on rust, that's what I was talking about yesterday. I got in more depth with rust because in order to get all the feature benefits behind our car connection fleet maintenance schedule, you've got to have a vehicle that qualifies to spend money on, to maintain it, to keep it going, to make it to 300,000, 400,000, 600,000 K miles. And I've said it before, I have one vehicle. The FJ is going to reach 400,000 kilometers this year. And our little rocket, which has been sleeping for the winter, I've taken it off the road. It's so pretty. It's just, I didn't want to spoil it with winter. We headed out to a car show last year, very first time. And we're going to take it out to a few what do they call it? Cars and coffee. Yeah, and let the young generation have a look at her. And she's just been resting, but she's almost at 300,000 kilometers. That's a 1999 Honda DX Civic, 5-speed air conditioning, one owner, purchased brand new. And so we're the next caregivers. She's getting a good life. She does needs, I see, a tiny bit of cosmetic surgery at the back, which is a common area for Hondas to break out in around where the rear bumper attaches to the lip on the quarter panels. That's a problem area. With my 98 Honda CR-V, I stayed ahead of it, but I would see these little blisters coming up in the paint, and that's when you know rust is already in behind. So when you see those things on your vehicle this spring, when you give it a really good makeover, get all the winter stuff vacuumed out and give it a good wash and a clean up inside. If you see any stone chips on the paint, any barnacles, little blisters, if you want to keep that car, you've got to get on top of those. You got to get them cleaned out and sealed. So stone chips look innocent, but not with today's paint products. The base coat, clear coat, as soon as you get a stone chip, now the paint has already been compromised, because the base coat, which is the pigment, the color, is like a sponge, and it draws moisture right in under the clear coat, which gives the paint depth and sheen. So touching up those stone chips is critical, folks. So you're going to want to get a touch-up stick or a bottle of touch-up paint and just seal those stone chips off. Like I said, they look innocent, but they take off like crazy into a great big, what I call a rust barnacle. And as I talked about yesterday, the body panels today, like Skippy gets out of the truck yesterday, lets the door go on the FJ and puts a granny dent in the side of the 2008 Nissan Rogue. And so then she's trying to lick her thumb and fix it. And I'm going, what are you doing? Well, I created a problem here. I go, yeah, two things. Never let go of a door. Hang on to it till you're out of the vehicle. Don't be a granny denter and swing the doors open. Too late. I got a little repair job to do there. But that took very little effort to cause damage. That's where I'm going with that. Very little effort to ding, dent, scratch, chip today's painted surfaces on our vehicles. The body metal is so thin, it only has one side. So what I wanted to just wrap up the rusties yesterday is, here's what you've got to know how rust works. So first of all, you're buying a brand new vehicle, get it rust-proofed right away. Whoever's lips, whatever talking head tells you your warranty is going to be void, that's incorrect. Whatever talking head says it's going to wreck your car, that's wrong. Put a check in the box. That's incorrect. It won't do either. It's just another part of the game to stop you from getting a lot of life out of that automobile, way beyond the factory warranty, way beyond. 300,000 K, 600,000 K, 400,000 K is absolutely achievable. Even if it's a pre-owned vehicle and it's clean, it's dry underneath, you get it rust-proofed right away. Start the process. That's what I call it. Start the process. Because once you have the foundation in your hands, a solid vehicle, you're already a winner if you start the process of having it rust-proof. Rust requires 2 elements to take off. And I'll tell you, in today's world, on today's cars, the rust gets in there so stinking fast. You know, it's crazy how fast these vehicles start showing signs of decay. It really is. You know, I've got vehicles that are, I think our oldest one now is 1967. Yeah, all my vintage stuff, I sold it off years ago. And it's worth, actually, I don't even talk about it anymore because it's painful. Yeah, it's painful. What I sold them for, what they're worth today was not a good idea. It was not. I listened, and I'm telling you, I listened to the wrong talking head. And that cost me not thousands, hundreds of thousands. And vehicles that I bought as I was young, packed them away, and took care of them. Today they're worth, just 2 of them would be almost $500,000 US. That's what they sell for. I was just watching a YouTube video and I saw my car right in the YouTube video, the exact one. And I almost passed out when I heard him say they only made 900 of these. This is it. This is one of the 900. And I'm going, I had that exact car, same year, to a T, even the color. Bam. I sold it for $5,000. I sold it for $5,000. Today, he said this is a priceless vehicle sought after. That just kind of makes your stomach turn over. Anyway, there's the story for you. So rust needs 2 elements to compromise your vehicle right now. I don't care how old it is, whether it's a year old, 5 years old, 15 years old. Now is the time when rust is going to take off once it receives 2 elements. 40 degrees Fahrenheit and moisture. And what happens? Residue from road salt and that road salt spray activates. The acids in the salt brine and the road salt activate. And rust takes off like you would not believe. So that's why making that decision, I want to keep this car as long as I stinking can. That is the right decision to make. It absolutely is, because you can win the game. The game of not getting sucked in to paying interest and principal to drive a vehicle to impress people you don't even know or you don't even like. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. You have to care. And if you hang on to my coattails, you too can win in the automotive longevity repair game. You listen to the talking heads, and they're going to take you down the path of destruction where you're working your tails off out there to make freaking car payments, huge ones. My neighbor, he finally made a decision to dump his vehicle. $2,200 a month to drive a fancy pickup truck. He woke up. Yeah, because he was getting behind on other bills. He's going, I can't keep the truck. I can't do this. I can't pay the house and the bills, and I got a great job, but there's no money left. I've since seen he's gotten rid of it. He was really serious about it. He goes, something got to go. He says, I might have to walk away from my house. I don't know. He says, I'm paying $2,200 a month to drive a pickup truck. Are you out of your stinking mind? Folks, give your head a shake. Really, you don't have to do that. Skippy and I made it all the way out to the lake yesterday. We went down to towards Crystal Beach. It was about a 20-minute drive. And you know what? Made it all the way back home in a vehicle, 2007, with almost 400,000 K on it. And if I knew the ice was more solid, I probably would have drove out onto the ice for you and shot the videos. But it was cracking pretty good right at the boat launch where I was walking around. The ice was just exploding at times. And one crack, I was standing on it, and it cracked right in front of me and scooted right across by my feet about 50 yards the opposite direction. It was about 1 inch wide. We show you in the video anyway. I don't want to spoil it. We show you that in the video. The ice just opened right up at that point. So I wasn't going to drive down on the ice with the FJ, but I would have if we had gotten down there earlier in the season. I would have put the FJ out on the ice for you to see that. But anyway, that's what you have to know, is you've got to get on the rust control right away. Even if I bought a vehicle today that was over 10 years old, and we have one in the weeds that was donated to us. Thank you to Sandra for doing that. What a blessing that turned out to be. We're able to take her mother's car and rescue it. And it's gonna prevent one person driving in the FJ all around town and stuff. And that just doesn't make sense. One person in a pickup truck, one person in a big SUV. No, you need a puddle jumper to do those things. If you have more people or big errands to run and parcels and stuff to pick up and moving stuff around, then yeah, take what I call the trundle buggy. But anyways, that Rogue, Nissan Rogue, it's a 2008. It's just a few years old, and I banged off all the heavy rust, and the metal underneath is still good. If it had sat about another 6 months, that would have been a different story. And I haven't put it on the road into the road salt because I want it sprayed first. So now the roads are starting to stay dry, and we're getting closer to 40 degrees. Once we stay over 40 degrees, it will be going into the rust protection shop to get it done. And if you want to know what product I use, go to the homepage of our website. I have the profile up there. You'll figure it out very, very quickly. I'm not giving them any free airtime because they don't show us any love, but they do have the best product out there. It neutralizes the acids of road salt. It creeps and gets into all the nooks and crannies, and now is the time to have that done. Like I said, if you're even buying a used vehicle, that's an '08 that's going to get sprayed with what my friend Jillian calls the marmalade. We're getting some marmalade on there, and lots of it. I'll get it sprayed in the spring, and then I'll get it redone in the fall so that it gets right into the body metal, because we put a lot of work into that vehicle to bring it back to life and save it from going to the U-Pull-It centers and get picked over. And you know what? It's very easily going to last 10 years. Very easily. No problem whatsoever. Okay, let's jump into today's topics. Now that I cover that. So remember, acids from road salt activate at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Add moisture to that. Now the rusties are awake and they're on the move. So you need to make that application of rust protection top choice on your maintenance list. And here's the thing. Did you know that most $5,000 repairs start at about $200? Start as a $200 maintenance item. Would you rather spend small money on a schedule that we put together, the Car Connection maintenance schedule based on fleet service maintenance, or would you prefer big money on a surprise? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. That's the question that everyone must make. Am I happy working my hiney off just to make a stinking car payment and pay interest to the bank? Or am I going to do something that's smarter and either A, really take good care of the one that's in the driveway that's paid off, or if you're buying pre-owned, I'm very big on pre-owned, because, you get something that's decent low mileage, like Earl and Louise Grant provide at City Auto Sales and Leasing in Toronto, Rexdale area. Now you've got a great foundation. You're not paying huge money. You're making a payment, yes, and paying interest, but it won't take 7 years to pay it off. You know, somebody else took the hit on the depreciation. You walk in and get yourself a goodie. That's the way to do it. To pay it outright in cash is even better, and that's what Tony Miele and Larry Tetro, our certified financial planning professionals, can teach you how to do that. How to budget for vehicle repairs and maintenance so you can keep the vehicle you have that's paid for going forever, and preparing for replacement. Preparing to have the budget in place to get the replacement when the time comes. Well, I have some really good news for you. Last thing at the end of the day, it was time to replenish the wood supply for the fireplace because we heat our home with wood. And I saw 2 robins. It was official. I did a little happy dance. I did a little happy dance in the wood pile. And I'm like, I hear robins. I got to see them. I have to see them. And they were in the very top of one of the tallest catalpa trees on the street. And there was a pair, and they were singing. And I'm going, they're here. The scouts are here. So robin sighting official. Don't forget, clocks forward this weekend, midnight on Saturday, before you put your nightie on, your flannels, and head to bed into the Pop-Tart. Turn your clocks ahead 1 hour. 1 hour. Got it spring forward. So I'll keep reminding you the rest of the week because it does get easy to forget that. And I've had that happen. Planning for spring vehicle maintenance. This is that huge time of year where we've had winter here in Canada, and everyone's had their own style of winter this year. And we're thankful that the lake was completely frozen, because when it is not, that is when we have 3-4 day blow-ins, and usually the power goes out. And it's a pretty treacherous 4 days of snow, all day, all night, and it can go on for days if the lake is open. But this year, blessed that the entire lake, almost all the way up to the ice boom, and we show you that, point that out to you from where we shot the video yesterday on the south shores of Lake Erie. The lake is frozen as far as the eye can see, which means no open water, and that's why we didn't see a lot of lake effect snow this year until the lake was starting to freeze, because we were in some deep freeze temperatures for weeks on end, for quite a few weeks actually. So planning for spring vehicle maintenance is huge in getting down to the nitty gritty. How did my vehicle fend through the winter months? You don't know what you don't know until you get after it. So it's so important and critical to make sure that your vehicle's booked in for a complete physical. That's what I call it. Check everything. Fluids, belts, hoses, brakes, pull all the wheels off, and let's take the brakes apart and have a really, really good look at what's going on. Suspension and steering, because we got potholes. I don't know about you, but Skippy and I, we hit some potholes in the FJ yesterday that even shook both of us like 2 marbles in a jar. Huge. Skippy goes, well, that was a big one. And I said, look at the size of the next one. It's almost big enough to swallow this FJ. So those are the things that hammer your suspension and steering components really hard. And here's what we know in the industry. Suspension and steering components aren't made as well as they used to. They used to be able to take quite a pounding, but because of, mass production, top name brands that we could count on to give us quality parts, they've really cut it back. They've really scaled it back. The price does not reflect the quality of the goods sold. Not anymore. We're having to hunt down parts, constantly changing direction, changing name brands that we could count on to get a better quality component. Because now they've so stretched the word premium, it's disgusting. So here's what I suggest to you, and it's pretty accurate. Where you see the term premium, just substitute premium for cheap. And that's pretty deadly accurate, especially in the automotive repair business. When I see that word premium tie rod end, no, don't want it. That tells me, where it's come from, and it might last a year, it might last 18 months, and we're going to be after it a second time. I'm not into that. Let's get the best parts we can and sift through the junk and put the best parts on so we can keep you rolling for a long time. So spring forward with your vehicle maintenance, not fall back. It's not the time to take your eyes off that automobile, and especially if it's paid for and you want to keep it long term, you're going to put some effort in. That's all there is to it. It's like weight loss. You look at yourself in the mirror and you go, wow, that's bad. Yeah, I got to do something about that. And then you get dressed and you forget about it, right? Turn the lights off. Turn those lights off. Everyone got a camera. You got to have a game plan. But you can have a plan, but if you don't implement the plan, what happens? The same thing. It's like my professor used to say, all CDs, yeah, that was back when we had CDs. Well, we still do have CDs, but all CDs sound exactly the same, motor mouth, until you take the wrapper off and put it in the disc player. I go, yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's exactly it. If you have a plan for vehicle maintenance, but you don't implement the plan, nothing changes. It's exactly the same. You're running the vehicle into the ground, and that, my friends, is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And seeing it happen over and over and over and over again. That's a lot of money you're driving into the ground. That is a waste of money, a big waste of money. So over the next little while, I'm going to be tuning you up in that area. And I hope I spur you on to do something about it. But again, most $5,000 repairs start as a $200 maintenance item. Would you rather spend some small money and get one of our car connection maintenance schedules, fleet schedules, maintenances? Or would you prefer big money on a surprise? It's up to you. You know what? Whatever you decide is good. Because that's the thing. That's the problem with life. We get to choose. That's right. We all get to make a choice. We all get to choose. I choose to no longer make car payments. I choose to no longer feed the banks interest, especially with regards to an automobile or stuff that I've already bought before. I don't need to use it till I can't and not service or maintain it, because that means I'm the dumb one, because I'm wasting the hard-earned money I had to make in the first place to buy that component. And see, what am I talking about? All your lawn and garden equipment. Do you service it? Do you take care of it? Do you treat it like this is the last weed trimmer I'm ever going to own, and take care of it? Your lawn tractor, your lawnmower, your snowblower. Do you take the time to put your snowblower away properly after winter to prep it for being stored so that it lasts? And I even spray my snowblowers down with rust proofing so they don't rot out, because that's the big problem with them. They rot out. So if you can stop them from rotting out and keep them running well, You're not spending $2,000-$3,000 for a snowblower. You don't have to. I've got my oldest snowblower is almost 35 years old. It's in the shop right now. It's got a drivability issue. Some crud got in the carburetor, and I'll fix that this afternoon, and it'll be ready, because you never know in March if you're going to get one more big winter blow-in. But now is the time to prepare for spring vehicle maintenance. What does that look like? Are you going to get serious about keeping your vehicle and not working your butt off to make car payments? That's your choice. We are going to jump on the 30-day fuel savings tips once we get over 50 plus degrees Fahrenheit. Otherwise, it really doesn't, you won't really see the huge savings. You'll see savings, but I want you to see huge savings and take on the 30-day fuel saving challenge and watch how much money you can continue to put back in your pocket. That's where it counts. And that's what preventative vehicle maintenance is all about. Keeping that car that you have, if you're interested in keeping that engine and transmission running a lot longer, and keeping that vehicle that you already have that's bought and paid for a lot longer until there's nothing left of it, but that won't be true. At the end of the day, if you take care of that vehicle, guess what? Somebody else will be interested in buying that at the price you can sell it for. Absolutely. I sold an example here, and I'll leave you with this. My 1998 Honda CR-V, I bought that one owner in the U.S. It had 66,000 miles on it. I had that vehicle almost 12 years, and when I sold it, it had 229,000 miles. And it since went through 3 owners after me. And I think I saw it on the road a couple of weeks ago. It doesn't look anything like when I had it, but it's still, if it looked like it was the one. There were some details on it that only I would know because I put them on there, and they were on that specific vehicle. So I'm pretty certain that I saw the old gal, and I really didn't want to give it up. I would have kept it if I could have, but the financing at the time, Tony Miele said, no, that has to go in order for you to get the FJ, and here's your budget for the FJ, and you're paying it off in 1 year. Not 5, not 7, 1 year. So that was the game plan put on the table ahead of time. So I kept that CR-V from 66,000 miles to 229,000 miles, and it still looked like the day I bought it because I took care of the body. I rust-proofed it every year. I sent it into the body shop when I had a number of stone chips or I saw some blisters coming up to get them on that right away so it didn't take off and eat out a section on the quarter panel. By the time you go, well, that's a disaster now. You can take care of it. Like I said, $5,000 in repairs up front. That could have been $200 for a maintenance item. Or would you rather spend money on a schedule and a maintenance plan that's written out for you, or big money on a surprise? Till tomorrow, make it a great day. Be safe out there. Keep an eye on the other guy. Keep it under 100. And put the coffee on, because we might just come to your house. Peace, patience, kindness always, and happy, healthy motoring. We'll see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning for another edition of Car Connection Workshop and the morning drive with yours truly, Motormouth. Have a great day. Bye for now.